Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host as always Ryan, and today we are going to be doing another top 20 rankings video. We're going to be looking at the top 20 heel turns in professional wrestling history. So that's going to be looking through any of those dastardly villains and when they turn against their tag partners or factions or friends. And as always, you can always play along with me. Let me know your top 20 heel turns in the comments section below. Let me know if you feel like there's anyone I've missed, or if you feel like maybe they're just in the wrong order. Let me know in the comment section. It's always fun to read through. So we'll start at number 20 and make our way down to number 1. Obviously number 1 being the greatest heel turn in professional wrestling history. So in at number 20, Trish Stratus turns heel on Chris Jericho. So in the late 2003, WWE ran a storyline based around Chris Jericho and Christian having a bet to see if Jericho could bed Trish Stratus before Christian could bed Lita. In the months that led to WrestleMania, this would become a main part of Raw. Christian would eventually turn on his best friend Jericho after Y2J told him he was getting real feelings for Trish. One week Jericho was at home injured, and Raw general manager Eric Bischoff booked a match between Trish and Christian. Christian would tell Trish backstage he would lay down for her in the ring, but instead he kicked out at 2 and made her tap out to the walls of Jericho. The next week, Jericho vs Christian was announced for WrestleMania 20. During their match, Trish came down to be in Jericho's corner, but she wound up accidentally elbowing him in the face and costing him the match. After the match though, Trish proved the elbow was in fact no accident, as she slapped him before Christian nailed him with the unprettier. Christian and Trish then made their way up the ramp and shared a kiss as Jericho looked on, heartbroken. Number 19. Roman Reigns finally turns heel. When the pandemic hit, Roman Reigns decided that with his history of leukemia and the birth of his twins, that he and his family would be safer if he stayed at home, even pulling out of a match versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. Reigns was then off TV for 5 months. WWE had wanted Reigns to be their top babyface and had tried and failed for years as fans turned against Reigns and booed him every step of the way. When Reigns returned at SummerSlam in 2020, he attacked both Braun Strowman and The Fiend, and the heel turn the fans had wanted for years was finally underway. Roman then aligned himself with top heel manager Paul Heyman, and the tribal chief character was born. After a feud with his cousins, the Usos, they finally joined Reigns and started the Bloodline, which has become one of the most popular factions and storylines in WWE history. Number 18. Dean Ambrose turns on Seth Rollins. In 2018, the Shield reunited for a short run. 4 years earlier, Seth Rollins had turned his back on Ambrose and Reigns to join the Authority. In the October of 2018, WWE had teased a possible dissension within the team for weeks, with Dean Ambrose the lightning rod for those issues. Roman Reigns opened up an episode of Raw by announcing that his leukemia had returned and he would be taking an indefinite leave of absence, and vacated his Universal Championship. In the main event, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins won the Raw Tag Team titles in such a feel-good moment after their Shield brothers' earlier announcement. Ambrose then turned on Rollins, hitting him with a dirty deeds before continuing the assault outside of the ring and leaving through the crowd. Number 17. The Rock turns on Cody Rhodes. On the road to WrestleMania 40, things got somewhat confusing before they got great. On an episode of SmackDown, Royal Rumble winner Cody seemed to suggest that The Rock would challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania instead of him. Fans did not take well to this decision, with #WeWantCody trending worldwide. A press conference was held to help hype up the pay-per-view a few weeks before. Roman would pick The Rock to be his opponent for the title at Mania before Cody would interrupt and announce as the Royal Rumble winner he would be the one to face Reigns and not The Rock. This led to both men taking shots at each other's families before The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes. In the weeks that followed, The Rock would lean into his Hollywood heel gimmick from 2003 as he called Cody's fans Cody Crybabies and brought back the Rock concert. Rock then went a stage higher as he went more violent, becoming the final boss character, and would destroy Cody Rhodes, with the clips of these attacks drawing record views on social media. Number 16. Prince Devitt forms the Bullet Club. Before joining WWE, Finn Balor had a successful run in New Japan Pro Wrestling as Prince Devitt. He held the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title on a number of occasions and the IWGP Junior Tag Team titles with Taguchi under the name Apollo 55. At the Invasion Attack pay-per-view in 2013, Apollo 55 went for their fourth tag titles against Time Splitters. After failing to win though, Devitt turned on Taguchi and attacked him with the help of Bad Luck Fale. At the Wrestling Dontaku pay-per-view, Devitt and Fale attacked Hiroshi Tanahashi after he had defeated Carl Anderson, turning heel, with Anderson turning heel, hitting the gun stun, aligning himself with Devitt and Fale. A returning Tama Tonga then also joined the attack, and in a post-match interview the four men announced the formation of the stable Bullet Club. Number 15. Mark Henry retires. The world's strongest man Mark Henry pulled off one of the greatest swerves in WWE history in June of 2013 on an episode of Raw. Henry wore a salmon-coloured suit and interrupted the WWE champion John Cena while not acting his usual aggressive self. The former world champion took the microphone and appeared to be calling time on his in-ring career. He then began to praise John Cena and began to look emotional as he promised his wife, "Baby, I'm coming home." John Cena then raised Mark's hand and even handed him his WWE Championship as a sign of respect to Henry's lengthy career. Fans applauded until Mark Henry turned on John Cena and delivered the world's strongest slam before ripping off his suit jacket and announcing that he had plenty more left in the tank. This still goes down as one of the most shocking moments in WWE history because it was so out of the blue. Number 14. Adam Cole turns on Kyle O'Reilly. The Undisputed Era was a fan favourite faction from the black and gold era of NXT. For the most part of the faction's existence, Adam Cole was the NXT champion, including a record-breaking 403-day reign. In the late 2020 though, Kyle O'Reilly started to make a push for the NXT's main prize, which was then held by Finn Balor in his second reign on the brand. O'Reilly though lost both his shots, with both guys gained a newfound respect for each other. At NXT Vengeance Day in 2021, O'Reilly, Cole and Strong saved Finn from a post-match assault from Dunn, Larkin and Burke. Afterwards, O'Reilly helped Balor to his feet and the four men posed in the ring, which seemed to be the inclusion of Balor in the Undisputed Era. Cole though super kicked Balor before landing a super kick on a shocked O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong looked on conflicted as the Undisputed Era was no more. Number 13. Bobby Roode turns on James Storm. Beer Money Inc. was a fan favourite tag team in TNA from 2008 to 2011. They were also very successful, holding the TNA tag team titles on 5 occasions. In 2011, both Roode and Storm were 2 of 12 participants in the Bound for Glory series to determine the number 1 contender to the TNA World Championship, which Bobby Roode would win and went on to the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, but would lose to then champion Kurt Angle after the referee failed to notice his arm under the rope. On the following episode of Impact, new authority figure Sting would give James Storm the next world title shot. Storm would then go on to beat Kurt Angle, becoming TNA World Heavyweight Champion in the process. Roode would then get his shot at the title again, but this time against his tag team partner. On an episode of Impact, Roode defeated Storm to win the TNA World title after hitting him with his own beer bottle, bringing an end to Beer Money Inc. Number 12. Tomaso Ciampa turns on Johnny Gargano. Now this heel turn had been coming for a while. It had been teased as far back as the Cruiserweight Classic, but that didn't take anything away from when it did happen. Ciampa and Gargano teamed together in NXT and even held the NXT tag titles together. After multiple opportunities to regain their tag titles, they faced the Authors of Pain in a ladder match for one more shot at the titles at NXT TakeOver Chicago. DIY lost the match, and after the match, when DIY walked up the ramp as fans applauded them, Ciampa then grabbed Gargano and smashed him into the entrance screen. This then led to one of the best feuds in NXT history, with these two main eventing multiple pay-per-views over the next couple of years. Number 11. Kevin Owens turns on Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a long history between them, going back to their days in Ring of Honor. This heel turn was the first WWE fans had seen. Kevin Owens had signed for WWE in August of 2014 and debuted on the NXT brand. His in-ring debut came at NXT TakeOver Revolution in the opening match, defeating CJ Parker, now known as Juice Robinson of AEW. In the main event, Sami Zayn defeated Adrian Neville to win the NXT Championship. After a long celebration with the roster, Owens turned on his best friend, delivering a devastating powerbomb on the ring apron. At NXT TakeOver Revival, Owens defeated Zayn for the NXT title via ref stoppage after he continuously powerbombed Sami Zayn, leaving him unable to continue. Number 10. The Mega Powers explode. In October of 1987, the Mega Powers formed their alliance. Former rivals Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage became a team, much to the delight of fans. The two had an uneasy relationship though, particularly when it became obvious that Hogan would be protective over Miss Elizabeth. Things finally came to a head in February of 1989 at Main Event 2. The Mega Powers faced the Twin Towers. During the match, Savage was thrown into Miss Elizabeth, knocking her unconscious, and Hogan carried her to the back for medical attention, leaving Savage on his own against their opponents. Hogan eventually emerged and offered himself up for the tag, as Savage slapped him in the face. The two of them argued before Savage then took his world title and headed to the back. Hogan would defeat the Twin Towers on his own, and after the match Hogan and Savage would get into it again backstage, with Savage accusing Hogan of trying to steal Miss Elizabeth and manipulate the world title away from him. Savage would then attack Hogan with his WWF title, ending their partnership and reigniting their feud. Number 9. The Festival of Friendship. In 2016, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho began an alliance. Owens was the Universal Champion, and he used his new friendship with Jericho as a way of keeping hold of the title. This also led to Chris Jericho winning the United States title. This was around the time Jericho was doing the list gimmick. On an episode of Raw in 2017, Jericho wanted to celebrate his friendship with Kevin Owens in front of the world and held a segment called the Festival of Friendship. This consisted of Jericho showering Owens with gifts, including a hilarious painting of the two of them together. Owens had a gift in return for Jericho. It was the list of KO, with just Jericho's name on the list. Owens then attacked him, beating him up outside of the ring and then destroying the set before leaving the arena with his Universal Championship. Number 8. Eddie Guerrero turns on Rey Mysterio. Eddie and Rey have a long history together, both in real life and in wrestling, first facing off in WCW for the Cruiserweight Championship before teaming as part of Filthy Animals faction, and then they both made their separate ways to the WWE. They were apart for a while before teaming together in 2005, winning the tag team titles. It wasn't long though before Eddie's ego started to come into play. At WrestleMania, instead of defending their tag titles, Eddie wanted to face his partner in the spirit of competition, which Rey Mysterio won. This began frustrations between the pair before miscommunication led them to dropping their titles. In a rematch for the belts, Eddie would leave Rey in the ring and head to the back. The next week on SmackDown, Rey was ambushed, but Eddie ran down to make the save. All seemed to be back on track until Eddie turned on Rey, beating him down and leaving him bloody and battered. Eddie's heel turn was complete. Number 7. Triple H turns on Shawn Michaels. In 2002, it seemed like we were going to be getting a reunion of fan favourite faction DX in a sort of way. With Shawn Michaels returning to Raw, the decision was made for HBK to be Triple H's manager. Michaels, though, said that he had a problem with being told what to do and refused. Triple H then tried to calm his best friend down and gave him a surprise, a gift, and when DX's music hit, we knew what that was. As they were in the ring running through their old routine, Triple H shockingly hit Michaels with a pedigree. As Triple H was explaining his actions, he received news that Shawn had been attacked in the parking lot, leading Triple H on a hunt to find the culprit, with him blaming everyone in sight. Michaels would eventually appear via satellite, revealing Triple H to be the one behind the attack. This led Triple H saying he wanted Shawn to be his manager as he was weak and vulnerable and he didn't want Shawn to get hurt. Shawn would then challenge Triple H to a match at SummerSlam, which would be his first match in 4 years. Number 6. Chris Jericho turns on Shawn Michaels. After their great match at WrestleMania 19, they faced each other on the odd occasion over the years, but many thought that we wouldn't see these two in another full-on rivalry, especially years later. That's just what we got in 2008. After retiring Ric Flair at WrestleMania, Shawn found himself at odds with Batista and faced the Animal at Backlash. After Jericho accused Shawn of taking pleasure in retiring Ric Flair, he found himself as the special referee for that match. During the match, HBK faked a knee injury before nailing Batista with a Sweet Chin Music for the win. During the highlight reel on Raw, Jericho awarded Shawn with a trophy for Best Actor in Sports Entertainment. He claimed that the fans would love Shawn no matter what he would do, including feigning an injury. The fans would continue to cheer Michaels and boo Jericho, which annoyed Jericho, and he then attacked Shawn, throwing him face first into the Geritron screen and, in storyline, detaching Shawn Michaels' retina in the process. Number 5. Bret Hart and Stone Cold double turn. Going into their submission match at WrestleMania, Bret Hart was the face and Stone Cold was the heel. The fans, though, had started to get a little bit tired of Bret Hart's old school face and were starting to get more behind Stone Cold. During the match, the fans finally let WWE know in certain terms which guy they wanted to cheer for. Both guys listened to the crowd and a double turn took place, slowly but surely. At the end of the match, Bret had Austin locked in a sharpshooter, but the rattlesnake refused to tap out, which got the fans to root for him even more, and of course boo Bret Hart even more. He eventually, though, would pass out, giving Bret Hart the victory. Bret then decided he wasn't finished and attacked Austin after the match, and the double turn was complete. Number 4. Shawn Michaels turns on Marty Jannetty. The Rockers were a very popular team in the late 80s and early 90s, with their fast-paced, high-flying style being seen by fans as something new and fresh. Although they never officially won the WWE Tag titles, as their one win was ignored and removed from history, they managed to become massively popular amongst the fanbase. Despite their growth, though, as a team, WWE wanted to split them up and push them both as single stars. In 1991, Shawn Michaels would turn on his partner during the barbershop segment. He would superkick Marty and throw him face first through the barbershop window. This still remains as one of the most iconic and shocking turns in WWE history. Number 3. Stone Cold joins with Vince McMahon. During the build-up to the main event of WrestleMania 17, which seen The Rock defend his WWF title against Stone Cold, Austin would claim that he had to beat The Rock no matter what. The desperation for the Rattlesnake to take the number 1 spot back was clear. The match, though, was made a no DQ match at the last minute. This was a battle between two titans that fans had been wanting for ages, until Vince McMahon, a nemesis of both men, made his way to the ring. After Stone Cold low-blowed The Rock, Austin signalled for Vince to enter the ring with a steel chair. Both men would repeatedly beat down on The Rock before Austin would eventually hit a stunner for the win. Austin and McMahon shook hands as shocked fans looked on. Stone Cold had sold his soul for the WWF title. Number 2. Seth Rollins turns on the Shield. The Shield were massively over as a faction during their original run between 2012 and 2014, starting out as hired guns for then WWE Champion CM Punk, before eventually going out on their own. At one point, all 3 members held gold together, as Ambrose was the United States Champion and Reigns and Rollins held tag team gold. After they lost the tag titles, though, cracks did start to show amongst the trio during some of their 6-man tag team matches, mainly between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. At WrestleMania 30, they defeated Kane and the Outsiders as they started a feud with the Authority, as they refused to attack Jerry Lawler on an episode of Raw. Authority leader Triple H would then reunite an old stable of his, Evolution, with Randy Orton and Batista. And the two factions would battle it out, with the Shield coming out on top in both of their matches against each other. The night after Payback, Batista quit WWE, thus ending Evolution for a second time, but Triple H told Randy that he had Plan B on how to destroy the Shield. With the trio in the ring, Orton and Triple H made their way down to ringside, and Seth Rollins nailed both Reigns and Ambrose with a chair and joined the Authority, leaving fans shocked, as the tease had always been for Ambrose to be the one to turn. So that is from 20 down to 2, so that leaves us with just one more. Can you guess what it is? I think if you made it this far, you're going to know what number 1 is. The greatest heel turn in the history of wrestling. Number 1, Hulk Hogan forms the NWO. In 1996, Scott Hall, formerly known as Razor Ramon in the WWF, and Kevin Nash, formerly known as Diesel, made their shocking debuts in WCW. Dubbed the Outsiders, the duo would turn up during episodes of Nitro, causing havoc and being escorted out of the arena by security. They were both signed to WCW, but it wasn't general knowledge just yet, and the storyline was that they were effectively invaders from the WWF. At the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view, a 6-man tag match was booked with Team WCW versus the Outsiders and a mystery partner that they wouldn't reveal. Hall and Nash came to the ring without a partner, and the match started as a 2-on-3 handicap. During the match, both Nash and Savage were laid out in the ring, and the ref started his count, with the fans going wild as Hulk Hogan appeared and made his way down the ramp. Hall quickly fled ringside, and the returning Hulk Hogan chased Nash out of the ring too. The fans were going insane, thinking their hero had come to rid of these evildoers. Hogan then stood in the corner and hit his atomic leg drop on the downed Savage, stunning the crowd and turning heel, revealing himself to be the third man. Hogan would then deliver 2 more leg drops as the Outsiders joined him in the ring to celebrate. The fans then turned on Hogan quickly, and the ring began to fill up with trash. Thus, one of the greatest and memorable factions were born: the New World Order. Brother! So there you have it. That is the top 20 greatest heel turns in professional wrestling history. Do you agree with our list? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to give us a little like, a comment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as over 90% of you that watch our channel are still yet not subscribed. And be sure, as always, to stay tuned for more wrestling related content coming your way very, very soon.